Since the turn of the century, Arsenal have managed to become synonymous with a few things. The Invincibles, finishing 4th, Wenger out, and injuries. And it is that final one that we're going to be looking at today. Over the years, the Gunners have managed to get involved with players who have literally been injured all of the time. In fact, there are so many that we can make an entire team out of those who were just known for getting injured. So this is going to include any player at Arsenal from the year 2000. With that being said, let's get on to the team. Manuel ALMUNIA. The Spaniard who was forever wanting to play for England was seemingly forever injured at Arsenal. In fact, his accumulative injuries meant that he almost missed an entire year. Though he did manage to play 100 games for the Gunners, he did have probably just as many injuries. Sadly, he had to retire in 2014 due to a really rare heart condition. Bacary Sagna. The Frenchman came in to solve the problem following Lauren's departure and the fact that ABOU was pretty awful. And things were going okay for Sagna at first, but during the 11-12 season, he suffered not one but 2 broken fibulas in a space of just a few months. Those 2 injuries alone kept him out for almost 300 days, and during his time at Arsenal, he spent 576 days out injured. JOHAN. A bit of a comedy defender when you think about it, Giroud was one of those classic Arsenal signings that we and Wenger thought might be a decent player, but actually turned out to be really crap. If his poor performances weren't bad enough, then how about the fact that he was injured for 546 days during his time at Arsenal? He managed just 86 games in over a decade at the Gunners, which says just about everything you need to know. PHILIPPE Senderos. Shockingly, no Per Mertesacker here, he misses out by about 60 days. Anyway, we can basically just repeat what we said about Giroud here. Swiss defender, had potential, turned out to be crap, got injured all the time. He was at the club for 7 years and played 64 games, and like Giroud, he's just been released by his club. Spooky, huh? KIERAN GIBBS. There's a really lovely song about Kieran Gibbs, and it goes, "Oh Kieran Gibbs, he's a left back, he's effing fast, he might be made of glass, but he's effing world class." Hey, 2 out of 3 ain't bad, is it? Anyway, Gibbs is a decent left back, but injuries have stopped him from really proving his ability for a long period of time. And he's likely to leave the Arsenal in the next couple of years for sure. Thomas Rosicky. Once heralded as one of the most talented midfielders in the world, no, we're being serious, Rosicky ended up just being a joke when it came to the number of injuries that he picked up. And what seemed even funnier was pretty much every time he returned from injury, he would get injured straight away. ABOU DÍABY. Literally a meme when it comes to injuries. The Frenchman was a decent player, but his career has been totally ruined by just how many injuries there have been. So how many have there been? Well, we counted it as 36, which amounts to about 2,156 days out of action at Arsenal through injuries. Diaby did get a second chance at Marseille, but managed just 5 games in 2 seasons before getting constantly injured, and he's just recently been released. Jack Wilshere. Jesus, this is just getting depressing now. This bloke was meant to be the next big thing, and surely help run England's midfield for the next decade or so. However, he's picked up 28 injuries, which is really sad. He's still a good player, but you'd reckon he needs some time off, or to just do something to stop all these injuries. Maybe take up crafts, or just not play football anymore. Theo Walcott. Okay, so we sat and counted how many injuries Walcott has had since joining Arsenal, and it amounted to 50. Christ. Walcott is definitely a good player, but we wonder if he's going to go down the track of Wayne Rooney and just burn out before he really reaches his peak. Danny Welbeck. Welbs just sneaks into this 11 by only 7 days ahead of Freddie Ljungberg. Despite only being out for 562 days, that has actually been quite a lot of his Arsenal career. He has managed to play 52 games for the Gunners, but he hasn't played over 20 games in the past few seasons. Robin van Persie. A bit of an odd one because it seemed that RVP played quite often and scored loads of goals. However, surprisingly, he was injured for over 700 days at the Gunners, but most of those came at the start of his Arsenal career. Especially with the fact that he played in every single game in his final season under Wenger and scored 30 goals in the process. And that's our team. Which club should we do next? Let us know in the comments below, and don't forget to like, share and subscribe for more great football content. and be sure to hit that notifications button to join the Footy Feed squad.